Well, my friends, I am back. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And guess what? I am back with another faux swag sweater. Yes, I am. This one is, I'm calling it Jay's Sweetheart Faux Swag Sweater. It's really is not for Valentine, but yet it is. And you'll see in just a moment. So let's just take a look at this. This is the front of it. Of course, I have my pearls. I have my beautiful faux swag little tie sleeves with the 1x1 rib. We do 1x1 or 2x2. Or later on, we may just throw in something else. Who knows? But there they are. That's the whole point of it. I got the idea years ago when I used to watch tennis all the time. And tennis players would always take their sweaters and tie them around their neck. Well, I made a shorter version and started wearing it. And in fact, Judy saw, she loved it, and she saw it. She said, let's make them longer, because we were knitting at the mall, and it would help keep the air condition that blows down from the top, off our back. And if you look at any of my pictures or older videos, or even my profile picture right here at the top of Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, you will see me wearing an orange one. It's one I had that I made years ago when I made the very first video on my YouTube channel. And just forgot about it. And then for some reason they have popped back up in fabric, not knitted so much, but in fabric. But of course, as knitters, I wanted to do a knitted version. So let's look at this one, this Sweetheart Faux Swag Sweater for 2025. Now, this is a stash buster, and your challenge, I'm gonna start challenging you to look through your stash and see if you can match up some pretty colors. You don't need maybe about 2 or 3 skeins, and you can mix and match the colors however you want. All right, let me turn to the back so that you can see the actual swag and the surprise I have for you for Jay's Sweetheart Faux Swag Sweater. Hold on. All right, my friends, I have turned the sweater to the back so that you could get a good view of this beautiful faux swag sweater. I'll come in a little bit. Let me pull it back a little bit. There you go. And as you can see, of course, you can see the beautiful little neckline. And I used some variegated yarn to kind of give it a variegated stripe look. But look, it is Jay's Sweetheart Faux Swag Sweater. Look at the beautiful heart stitch, and it has beautiful cables on each side. Simple to knit, simple chart we will work from, and a simple formula as well. As you know, these are stash busting projects, because that's all I did. I just reached in and found a solid, and I just saw this variegated laying over there, and I thought, well, that's enough. If you don't have enough, you just switch back and forth to each one, or either pick up a third color. It is so easy to make because you're only making the back of the sweater. This idea came from years ago when I used to watch tennis. And if you would look back through any of my videos, even look up at my profile picture on my YouTube channel, you see me wearing an orange one. I forgot all about that I had that one. Okay, but at that time, I was making them shorter in the back. And my friend Judy gave me the idea. She said, let's make them longer so that while we're sitting, we used to knit at the mall, when the air would come down on our back, this would keep us nice and comfy and warm. So this is Jay's Sweetheart Faux Swag Sweater, just for my friends. I hope you give this a try. I'm having so much fun just kind of taking an easier route, more relaxed route. We've done some hard things. Now it's time to just go with the flow. Right, Bird? There's Bird. Tweet, tweet. Bird's got the snack. I've got the yarn. Hey, so let's get started. All right, let's just take a look at the back. I've laid out the back of the sweater. And as you can see, I made it just really simple. I was going to put more in there, but what I want to do is just kind of increase, the stitches as each project, as we go up each project. So we just finished the little neck warmer, the cable cozy cable neck warmer. All right, so you already, if you work that project, you're already into the cables and the simple twisting. We're just using simple ones. We hadn't even got to the book and all the codes. Only reason I got this wonderful message from one of my fans who says she's been following me for a long time. Her name is Wanda, and she said, Jay, I've followed you for years, and I've even bought 2 or 3 of the books that you've used over the years, but I still, even though I bought the book and maybe even practiced a stitch, then I go, okay, I just never can understand, how to put it into a pattern. So I thought, well, what a great idea. So thank you, Wanda, for asking that question. So real simple, I'm going to lay this out for you. Then I'm going to give you, of course, a formula and everything that you need. But I want you to look at it just in just the plain knitted fabric. You can see we have a border on each side. You can see there's some filler stitches here. Then we have a cable. Okay, the cable can be any cable that you want to put into your sweater. The last cable we just did on the cozy cable cowl, I think was an 8-stitch cable. Well, I just made this a 10-stitch cable. There's 10 stitches in this cable, so that means we'll cross 5 over 5. All right? And of course, when I do my cabling, I always I make it one unit. I add the reverse stockinette stitches into my cable, just so that this is one whole unit, this and this, not just a cable. That way it always goes together. So whether it's 3 stitches, 4 stitches, I believe this is a 3-stitch one. So it's just automatically added in. All right? Then here is the chart we're going to use. What do you think about that pretty little heart chart that I found? And of course I have reworked a little bit of it because I wanted to change some of the stitches. A couple of stitches I didn't like they used. So I just put in what I normally use. And I repeated it 3 times. Okay, what's so good about when you set up your own cables and do your own little design, the cable comes from the chart, the hearts come from the chart, but the cables are simply things that we're going to put in. And all I'm going to do is show you how to figure out when to cross the cables. That's all you need to know. You know how to knit. Now you just need to know when and where to cross the cables. I'm going to show you that. So now here's my pretty hearts, and then I repeated the cable with the 2 reverse stockinette stitches with the reverse stockinette on each side. And then of course you have filler stitches again to fill up that empty space in order to get to the edge, because I'm going to go over the my simple size chart that we've used in all of these faux swag sweaters, unless for some reason I need to change it to get a particular design in. How about that? Take a look at that and tell me what you think. And also notice the pretty, I just grabbed up, like I said, some variegated yarn. It could be speckle yarn. It can be some of your hand-dyed yarn. Maybe you didn't have enough to do a project. This is perfect. You just need something solid maybe to go with it. What could be better than that? All right, let me get the size chart and then we're going to do, I'm going to give you the working formula and show you how to set it all up. All right, back in just a moment. All right, here is my standard size chart for my faux swag sweaters. The ones we've already finished and for the ones to come. And these are base numbers. If for some reason I need to try to get a pattern in or different lace stitch in or something, everyone, everywhere, every size, you have 4 stitches. 4 stitches that you can use. You can use 1 stitch, you can use 2, you can use 3, or you can use all 4 in order to get a pattern in. If you're going over that, then you may have to adjust something else or size. But for instance, first of all, on my faux swag sweaters, I don't do a lot of changing of yarn size. It just became something that I got used to over the years. I knew how the yarn, the size and the needles were going to work. So I just said, well, if it's not broke, why fix it? I started out when I was a lot less fluffier with a US number 8 and the appropriate yarn that fit that needle. Yarn that was gauged to a number 8. As I got fluffier, but I didn't want to go up size because then it would be too large and, ill-fitting, I simply just went up a needle size to a US number 9. It gives me just a little ease, and I mean, it just relaxes the fabric, relaxes the stitch, but I can still wear the same size, okay? So, a 8, if you don't have a lot of fluff, a 9, if you have a lot of fluff and maybe a little hot flashes. I always throw that in. I normally use the yarn that's gauged to the number 8 is usually number 4 weight yarn. So anything, medium to light, even light to medium number 4 weight yarn. I'm not talking about the heavier number 4, the Worcester type. This is just a little softer, but not small, not real, don't go down too small. Otherwise, these numbers are not going to be enough for you. So just remember a medium weight number 4. Stuff you get off online, Nick Picks, Barocco, any of the normal, just standard yarns that you get, that I would get from the knit shop. Number 4 weight yarn that would call for a number 8 needle. All right, now my sizes are very simple and very generic, especially for this project because we're only knitting the back of the sweater, so we don't have to worry about knitting the front and your like we do a regular sweater. So the first size, number 1, it could be anywhere from a medium to a large. Your medium to a large, even a small person, maybe, sometimes a small person could wear this size too, but medium to large, your base number is 97 stitches across the back. Okay, 97. All right, somewhere to start. Most people say, okay, Jay, where do I even start? What numbers? Okay, I'm giving you a base number. Number 2, size number 2 is the 1X to 2X. Now that's me. I'm in the middle. My bra size goes from 44 to a 46. So I'm small, of course, at the top and large at the bottom. So this is not something that's going to go to the bottom of your body. It's just from the top of the shoulder to the waist at the back. So a 1X to 2X, bust size around 44 to a 46, you're going to use a cast on 105 stitches. That's my base number of stitches. Number 3, size number 3 is a 3X to 4X. Same thing. You will cast on 113 stitches as your base number. Now, if you wanted to go up because maybe you're really larger in the bust and you say, oh, I think I might need a little more broad in the back, all you have to do is add 8 stitches to this number and you're up to the next size. But I generally just work in these 3 size categories because it fits most people. All right, take a good screenshot of that and just keep it for further reference as in case I'll try not to forget, but just in case I do forget to put the size chart. So go ahead and take a good screenshot. And now I'll show you, we're going to go over the working formula. I'm just going to slip it, instead of changing the camera again, I'm going to go ahead and slip this in. Let me just check it. See if you can read it. I believe so. I can bring it in. And all you're going to do is just get a sheet of paper and you're going to copy the size that fits you. Don't worry about the other sizes because then you'll get confused. Just look at it. Either you're medium to large or you're the 1X to 2X in the middle like me, or you're the 3X to 4X. All right, let's take the first one. Now, I'm going to cover up. Maybe if I cover up something so you can see what I'm saying here. All right, how about that? All right, on the medium to large, the chart that I'm going to give you for the heart, there's 19 stitches. The cable on each side, it's 10 stitches plus 4 stitches reverse stockinette on one side and 4 stitches of reverse stockinette on the other side of those 10 stitches. Well, you add that together, you're going to get 18 stitches. So that's what the cable means. 18 stitches. That's the cable and the reverse stockinette on each side of the heart. Here's the heart in the middle. Then I have, the extra, the fill-in part of the sweater. For medium to large, you're going to have 17 stitches here, 17 here, and everyone everywhere will have a 4-stitch border. So B just stands for border, 4 stitches, 4 stitches. Now if you add all these numbers up, I just usually draw a line, and then I put vertical marks where I want to put stitch markers when we start to set up. All right, or to separate each little section. See, these are little sections. All right, so if I add a border and then the fill-in stitches, here's the cable, one cable. This cable on this side is a cable front. Here's a chart. This is a cable back. The filler stitches, the border. This person is going to get 97 stitches. You have to add it all back up to make sure that you come out with the original number. Unless, like I said, unless we're doing something different. Okay, the next one. This is me. I'm in the middle. I'm bust size 44 to 46, or 1X to 2X. All right, the border is the same on every sweater, 4 stitches. So I got that. The heart in the center, the heart chart in the center is 19 stitches. Can you see that? 19 stitches. And I'll take a close-up picture of these two. Okay, here's a chart. Here's a cable. 18 stitches here, 18 stitches here. Oh, charts in the center, 8 the cables on each side. My extra stitches came to 21 stitches here, so I'll have 21 here. 4 stitches on for each border. I added them up. I double-checked. It came out to 105. That's where I started. That's where you want to get back to. Okay, now, let's see, can I keep that glare? Okay, how about if I do it this way? I'm trying to keep my lights from glaring on it. Okay, so here we go with this 3X to 4X. Same thing. All the borders are the same. The chart is still 19. The cables are still 18 stitches on each side of the heart chart. The filler stitches for this person is 25. It's a larger sweater. The numbers are larger, so she has a little more filler stitches. It's 25 here and 25 here. So now if I add all these numbers up, I should come back to where I started, 113 stitches. So you can get a good screenshot of each one, or I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture close up too so that you can make sure. But I wanted to go over the numbers so that you can see what your working formula, what the numbers stood for. And just a reminder, the cable is a 10-stitch cable, 10, and on each side I'm going to have 4 extra stitches, 4 stitches here, 4 stitches here, as a reverse stockinette. Purl on the front, knit on the back. All right, when I add those up, it comes to 18 stitches. 10 and 8, 18. Same thing for the cable that's going to the back, identical on this side. That's how I got the 18 stitches. Just so that you would know. All right, so now let me see the next thing I need to do. I guess I probably need to get the chart out and go with it. And I think I'm not even going to knit the chart this time. It is so much fun and so easy. I want to see if I'm going to give you a challenge. All right, so let me clear this up and then I'll come back. And then I will take a good screenshot of this so that to make sure that you can pick your size. Don't worry about the other ones. Just pick the one that you're going to work from so you won't be confused. Does that make sense? All right, back in just a moment. Okay, now let me just real quick go over this, how to set up your setup row. A lot of times you'll see that in a pattern. Sometimes they'll say this is a setup row. Just like what I just shared with you, you're going to need some moving markers, all right? You cast on your number from your working formula. You knit 2 rows. Then on the next right side row, the row that I'm looking at, you will start setting in markers. We're not knitting any kind of pattern yet. We're just setting in markers. So you knit, look at your formula line. You got 4 stitches, put a marker. Your filler stitches, put a marker. Then your total number of cable stitches, put a marker. See, it's the total number. I got 18. Okay. Then your heart. I started to say Valentine. Then your heart section. You'll have a marker here. Then the next cable, and so on all the way across. That is your setup row. Then you're going to do the corresponding. When you turn the work, you'll be on the wrong side, of course, and you're going to work back. All your markers are in. Now you're just kind of working back so that you can get start in on your chart. But this is what you should see when you start to work back. You should see the wrong side. You should know that on the wrong side, what's so great about cables, that's why a lot of people like them, you just knit the knits, purl the purls. So if it's purl, like this section is purl, then you purl. Where you did the reverse stockinette, you know if you purl on the front, you're going to knit on the back, which makes these pretty little columns right there. So you know exactly where the reverse stockinette, you see that's the cable. I went ahead with my masking tape and I put, we're doing a 10 stitch cable, so it's a 5 cross. So I just simply put cable 10. This one will be, when you're looking at it from the back side, this is the front. Here's the reverse stockinette. Here's the heart or the chart, which I'm going to go over the chart in just a minute. And then on this side is cable 10 back. Now, and you're going to be putting, you'll just do the appropriate stitch. Knit here, purl, knit the knits, purl the purls. Now when you turn back, okay, now you're ready to go. You have your setup row. In other words, you have all your markers in. You know what section goes where according to your working formula. That's all that means. Does that make sense? So when you look at it from the front, this is the side when we're working. This will be cable 10 back. That means it's going to the right. Okay? It's going to move to the right. Then we'll work the chart. Then you will do cable 10 front or left. So I put it just for my own. Now, you know I'm looking at it upside down, but you could turn it so that it looks more like that. Let's do that so I don't confuse you. I did this in a hurry. So remember, masking tape. Y'all are going to get tired of me saying that. Masking tape is your friend. So that way you won't confuse which cable goes to the back here. And then on this side, the cable will go to the front. Does that make sense? Okay. So, let's see now. So we have all of this. I'm trying to think. All right, so now the next thing I need to do is walk you through the chart and tell you where to cross the cable. The chart is so easy. You guys, I just want to see. You're going to be so proud of yourself. I'm going to just let you knit it on your own. All right, let me get it ready. I'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our chart. This is Jay's Sweetheart Faux Swag Sweater Chart. And I always encourage you to prepare your chart before you actually start knitting. It will save you so much time and mistakes as well. All right, so let's look at it. It's very simple. You see the dark lines. You see the outline here. This chart has 19 stitches across. And of course, we're only going to repeat it one time. So you don't have to worry about repeats unless you're going to do something later. All right, so on this chart, the first thing I want to tell you is any blank box or squares on the right side of the work, these are the numbers telling you we're looking at the right side, we are going to knit anything blank. That means I don't have anything else to change it, so on the wrong side, you will simply purl back. Very easy. Okay. Symbols. Symbols are very simple on this. We've done them before, so this is going to be a great challenge for you. Most of you can do this with your eyes closed. Not. Yarn. The zeros are yarn overs. Okay? Symbols leaning to the right, you want to knit two together. Symbols leaning to the left, I do a simple slip, slip, knit. And you just work your way all the way up. And the only odd symbol we have, or a little different, we have a symbol up here that has, it leans to the right. It has two little legs. You simply knit 3 stitches together. So here you'd go yarn over, knit 3 stitches together, yarn over, and you continue across. How simple is that? But one of the important things, I should have said this right up front, once you get your chart and you look at it, go ahead and pre-count all the blank or empty squares that represent the knit stitch to save you a lot of time and losing your place. So you simply go through and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, put a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 over here. So I put an 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and so on all the way up. So easy. Saves so much time. Now, take a good screenshot of that. I'm going to just make sure that you can get a good screenshot of your chart. Can you see that? And I think I'm kind of go that way so you can see the numbers. Okay. Once you get a good screenshot, over here you'll see orange. I put an orange on, these are the right side rows, and on row number 9, I kind of took a highlight and put some orange. I wanted something to remind me where we're going to cross our cables. So I don't even have to worry about the cables. I just work across as I'm going to share with you again. And then when I get to row 9, I will know whether to cross it cable going back or cable coming front. Does that make sense? Row 9, and then I continue to work on this heart chart is the star. The cables are just there for support. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? So now, if you wanted to, I'm going to pull this back a little bit now. You've got a good screenshot. If you are new and you want to do a little sample, you can simply cast this on and put 4 stitches on each side for a border. You can cast on the 19 stitches on some practice yarn just to get the feel of the heart. And if you can do it on your own, you see that? So I just I knit 2 rows, did everything exactly the same. Put my borders, see my little markers? And I just started at row 1 knitting. What do you think of that? All right, so let's see now. There's a chart. Oh my gosh, I felt like I hadn't been knitting in forever, but I have. And you know where to cross the cable. So now let's just take an overlook. Oh, let's go ahead and walk the steps. Because since I'm not knitting this with you, I've already knit mine, I'm going to walk you through the steps. Let me lay it out and we'll be right back. Okay, so now after you do your knitting, this is the fun part because on these, unless I'm just knitting it with you, I can walk you through the steps. The steps stay the same. This is why I think you're going to enjoy having this little pattern under your belt. You know how to do it anytime you need something a little special. I knit shawls, but sometimes I just like, okay, I don't need a shawl, but this will go any place. All right, after you decide, well, everyone is going to knit, I suggest to knit the heart chart at least 3 times. Every time you come to row number 9, I highlighted it in the orange. Can you see where the cables cross? Just like we just did the little cozy cable cowl. You know, you're going to need a cable needle or something so that you can cross your cables. And I'm already ahead of the game because remember, I've already put on this side, this is going to be cable 10 back. That means I'm going to take 5 stitches, put them on the cable needle, and hold it in the back. Knit the next 5, then knit the 5 off the cable needle, and then continue on across the chart, whatever, that's on row 9. You'd finish the row 9 on the chart, and purl back. See, all of it's purl except for where you have the reverse stockinette, and you know that knit on the back. See, you'll purl on the back, or purl the purls and knit the knits. These you have to knit. That's the reverse stockinette. That just simply sets the cable. Cable just always seems to look really or pop against a background of a reverse stockinette. That's all that is. These are filler stitches. So you're going to do it 3 times. So see there? So you got your cable crossing on row 9. Once you finish, go ahead and knit. Let me pull it down a little bit now. See where we are, because I can walk you through this part. Okay, let's see if I can come on down a little bit more. Okay, so now I've finished knitting the design and the cables, and I keep on knitting until I come to row 1. You know, you knit all up, all the way across the cable. I keep on knitting, and then I will eventually, you get back to row 1. Let's see, did I stop at row 1? Yeah, that's the cable, And then I'd go ahead and knit a couple of extra rows, knit and purl back, just to have a little distance from where I stopped the cables and the heart to where I want to, if you want to add stripe, if you got some beautiful speckle yarn or some glitter yarn or some variegated yarn, whatever you have, or you can have just stay in the same yarn. But it kind of added something, I think, when I picked up just a little inexpensive variegated yarn that had the same color. So, and I did that for at least 2 inches. Just decide, 2 inches. If that's good for you, it's good for me. 3 inches if you're taller. You might go a little more, 3 inches. All right, now you keep going. Then I got tired of that variegated, so I switched back to the main color. See, this is what's so fun about this pattern. You can just make it up as you go. You don't have to worry about so many mistakes or anything. This is a fun project. So I switched back to the main color. I did that for probably the same 2 inches or 3 inches. Now, remember, the next thing you have to think about, once you're going up the back, whatever your back measurement, from the top of your shoulder, you don't have to come over the shoulder, just the very top back, down to your waist. Don't go below the waist. You're going to have so many inches. I say to always round it to an even number. So if I had 19, I would just simply go up to 20. If you're tall and you have 23, just going up to 24. Make it easy. But when you get ready to set your neckline in, you have to come down from that number at least 2 inches. You have to, here's my 20, say here's my 20 up here. So I've come down at under 2 inches so that I can go ahead and put my neckline in. I can put whatever neckline I want. For this one, I'm doing the 1x1 rib just to make it easy. All right, the first thing once you up to where you want to put in your neckline, you remember what you do next? You stop and you count the number of stitches, every one, everywhere, every size. Count the total number of stitches between each border. You don't have to count the border's already set. Count the stitches in between. Then you take every one, everywhere, take 31 stitches from that number. Whatever the number that's left after you take 31 stitches, or 31 stitches from that number, divided in half if it's an equal number, even number. And if not, we will simply add an extra stitch on this side once we knit across. We'll just stick in an extra stitch at the end over there. But if it's an even number, that means you're going to have a right shoulder and a left shoulder, and they're going to be even. That's all we want. We don't care about anything else. Getting your shoulders even and making sure you have 31 stitches. That is the magic number for this Faux swag sweater, whether it's a 1x1 rib or a 2x2 rib. All right, and I may do some work and put some information over in my comment section. I might put out those little videos for those who can't remember how to actually knit that, since I'm not knitting in real time with you on this one. Then once you have some markers in. Remember, you have to count back from the marker 4 stitches so that we'll have a new border going down the front. Over here, you'll have 4 stitches, the neck, then 4 stitches, a marker, and then this shoulder. So shoulder, border, neck, border, shoulder. Can you see how it all matches? All right, since we're on the front of the fabric, there's no edge stitch, so we simply start with a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and end with a, we start with a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. And then knit the borders. Borders we knit on every row, just like the end borders, and go on across. On the wrong side, you just do the opposite. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 all the way, and just finish up here. I suggest everyone everywhere to knit your neck band at least 1.5 inches. If you go over a row or so, that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I found that 2 inches was too much. So 1.5 inches is great. If you go over 1 row, that's fine. But to bind off on the 1 by 1, my secret to make it look really pretty and have those little beads, this is just for the 1 by 1 ribbing. I turn it, I make sure once I turn it I'm on the wrong side and I know that I want to bind off. Then I work up to my border, knit the 4-stitch border, the new one right here, right by the neck. Then on this side I simply knit 2 stitches, reach back and bind off. I'm on the wrong side, but I'm using the knit stitch. Knit the next stitch, reach back and bind off. Knit the next stitch, reach back and bind off all the way across, and on the front it gives you these pretty little purl bumps instead of this awful line right there. It gives you the little bumps on this 1 by 1. We do something else with 2 by 2, but I don't want to stop. Let me keep going. So like it now, let me see, can I turn this and walk you down one faux sleeve? Once you get your neck bound off, now you have a right shoulder and left shoulder, and you're getting ready for your faux swag sleeve. Let's see, can I get it a little better here? Okay, I think this will work. I'm trying not to turn off the camera so I can. Good. All right, so now I'm up here. My neck is bound off, and now I'm starting to knit back and forth. And as you can see, I kept the variegated color. If you're going to have a color change, or in this area, I suggest not to take it too far over. So I suggest, how once we start over the shoulders, we don't worry about the rows. We worry about the ridges. Jay, she's just off the chart here. Okay, so I work 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 ridges. So if I'm going to have a design or a change of color, I work down from this ridge, started counting right here, where you can see, it may be hard to see on this variegated yarn, but where I started the new front edge, I count the ridges, and 16 seemed to be a good number. So I kept working in this color till I had 16 ridges. Once I reached 16 ridges, what's the next number we need? We need the center cross of your bust line. We need to know, going across the very front of your bust line like this, about how many ridges does it take from here to where your bust line, where it crosses, the center of your bust line. So I continue to work. Now I've changed the color, but I continue to work in the solid color for another. My number of ridges is 30. I came up with that number by putting this sweater on with a good bra. I go to my mirror as I'm knitting this section here, and I start looking, changing colors. Okay, let's see how close I'm going to get to the center of my bust line. And if it was 27, go up to 28. If it was, I think I was dabbling on 28, 29, so I just went up to 30. I got tired of fooling. And so far it's worked good. So my ridge number, I need 30 ridges after from the back to get to where the center of my bust line, because the next right side row, after I purl back from that 30, that's where we want to start the decreases. That's where we start the decreases. And the decreases, let me change the camera right quick because I need to change on this one. I've got this, so let me come back with the decreases so that we can get down to the cuff. All right, so now you have started the decrease down, and remember, if you can't remember which side, you just stick it on your masking tape. As you want to come in towards the center, it's slip, slip, knit on this side, but it's knit two together on this side. And I just use some masking tape to just remind me, because what you want each side to come into the center. As you can see, then this one hasn't been blocked or anything, so it's hard to get everything to lay down, but you can see how it comes into the center. So I'd slip the mark, I'd knit the border, slip the marker, slip, slip, knit. Knit across. Before I get to the marker, I'd knit two together, slide the marker, and knit the border here. You're going to continue to do that until you have at least 16 stitches between this border and this one down near the cuff. You may have 17 at the end, which is perfect for a 1x1 rib. Okay, if you short a stitch, then we'll just add a stitch on the edge somewhere over here to do the 1x1 rib. Whatever you do at the neck, you want to do at the cuff. If you do 2x2, then your cuff needs to be 2x2. When we get down here, we just keep knitting down until we count. Stop every once in a while and you count. Once you reach the 16 stitches, plus that one if you have it, fine. Then continue on down. I like to go at least 2 inches below the bottom of the sweater. So you keep going, and then we're going to stop and add the cuff. You want this to come below the bottom edge of the sweater. We've done all of this on the original. I'm just quickly doing a little review. Now to do the cuff, there is an edge. See, there's an edge. So I'm going to start on the right side with knit one, purl, knit one, and then I knit again. This is just the edge stitch. So I knit that edge stitch, then I knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, all the way across, and I'll end with a knit stitch, and then I will knit the last stitch, which is an edge stitch. And I will do that for at least, if you can get 3 inches, it's perfect. So you're going to work your cuff, 1x1 rib for at least 3 inches. You'll be on the wrong side, just like we did the neck, and you will bind off in the knit stitch. Knit 2 stitches, reach back and bind off. Knit 1, reach back and bind off. Knit the next stitch, reach back and bind off. So that line right there stays on the back. And what you have in front are these little purl bumps. And my friends, that is another one. I'm already on to I've got like 3 or 4 ahead of you. I can't wait till you see the next one. I think I'm going to do something with black again. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed my little reminiscent down memory lane to our Joann store. Like I said, it was good times, and we had good friends, and the people there, you got to know them every week. They look forward to seeing you. It was just fun. And so I never did think of it as as a big box. Oh, Lord, they go to that big box store. I never thought of it like that. I just thought of it as a great place to meet good friends. And if what happens, then at least I had some good times with some good friends at my Joann store. All right, so what do you think of this? I hope I have covered everything. The main thing was just to get all the steps in so that you don't have to go back. So, but you should have them down by now, because like I said, we're going to keep rolling. And I have more things to share with you. So this is Jay and Bird. Come on, Bird, look at the camera. Have to remind Bird to look at the camera. This is Jay and Bird, and we just wish you happy knitting to everyone, everywhere, every size. Come back and join us and see what we have next. I tell you, it's going to be good. So, bye-bye.